I'm Anupamaa from Bangalore. I'm telling a folktale today, and the name is The Clever Grandma. Ramaka was all of 70 years old. She had several wrinkles on her face. Her face looked disheveled, and the feet was full of cracks, so big that a big ant could get into it. She was tired and looked 80 years old. But in spite of that, she was walking all around the house, doing so much of work, while her 20-year-old grandson was sleeping like a log. It was not the case with Ramaka. She had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, clean the house, cook 3 meals, and leave because her grandson had to eat, and then had to go to work in the Zamindar's house. Ramaka sighed and thought to herself, oh, I wish I had brought my grandson up properly. I got so scared and kept him in closed environment, didn't even send him to school because I lost my son and my daughter-in-law. Oh, what a mistake I did. At least today, I would have had someone who could take care of me. With those thoughts in mind, she left the house, leaving it to the care of her grandson to go to the Zamindar's house. She went to the Zamindar's house, and there were a lot of guests. She had so much food to cook that she did not even realize how the time was flying. And by afternoon, when she made the vada, she by mistake put a lot of salt. That afternoon, the Zamindar's wife came and yelled at Ramaka, oh, you old woman, it's such a mistake keeping you in the house. Look at the kind of food you made. Nobody could eat the vada. It's terrible that we are keeping here with you. I keep telling my husband to shoo you away. Ramaka had tears in her eyes. She had cooked 12 dishes, and she herself had heard all the others actually praise. Is there a disturbance? And she actually heard all the other people praise her cooking, tell her how good she was. And all that the Zamindar's wife could do was to criticize her because one dish was not okay. She again cursed her grandson and went home. She was extremely agitated and kept scowling at the grandson. And the grandson said, Grandma, why are you scowling so much? And the grandmother said, all because of you. The way you are, you're so naive and I don't know what to do with you. Today I got scolded by the Zamindar's wife. Oh, I wish you could take my responsibilities. And Zamindar's wife said, can I just take a break if it's okay with you? There's a little bit of a disturbance there. I'll just come back in 2 minutes. Ramaka was scowling all the time. And her grandson said, Grandma, why are you scowling at me? And she said, all because of you, my grandson. I wish you were more responsible. I have to suffer so much because you are like this. And the grandson said, what can I do, Grandma? I am not educated and nobody will give me a job. Please tell me, what can I do? And Ramaka muttered, I make good vada. You could at least sell that. Immediately, her grandson Kumar said, I will do it, Grandma. For a moment, Ramaka thought, did I actually think wrong about him? Next day morning, Ramaka got up half an hour earlier, made some delicious masala vadas, and gave it to him, 10 of them. And she said, I said, please go sell it and come back. Her grandson went to the market, but nobody would allow him to come anywhere close to the shops. Not knowing what to do, he went a little further and saw a tree and sat below it. He waited, waited, and waited, but no one turned up to buy his masala vadas. Finally, at around 4 o'clock, 3 dogs came and stood in front of him. And he looked at them and he said, do you want a vada? And they said, woof, woof. He said, it's going to cost you money. And they said, woof, woof, woof again. So he said, okay. And he gave them the vadas. They ate 3 each. And at the end of it, he said, where is my 9 paisa? And they said, woof, woof, woof. So he said, okay, so you're going to give it to me tomorrow. Then I'll come back tomorrow and take the money. He went home. His grandmother was very happy looking at the masala vadas empty. And she thought for a moment, oh, my grandson is actually smart. He can do business. And she told him, son, where are the vadas? He said, Grandma, I sold them. I had 3 customers who came. So the grandma said, oh, really? Where's the money? Where's the 9 paisa? And he said, well, they did not have the money with them. They said they'll give it to me tomorrow. You can make more vadas. They're going to get more customers tomorrow. So the next day morning, she made 20 vadas. And it was the same story. The same story continued for 15 days. And on the 16th day, Ramaka had enough. And she told her grandson, son, if tomorrow you don't ask your friends to get the money, I will throw you out of the house and I will not allow you to come in. You please make sure they give the money. Kumar was scared. He said, okay, grandma. The next morning, he decided that he would ask his friends to pay the money or he would beat them with a stick. So he went and 16 of them turned up. He fed them all the vadas and all of them were happy and hoping he would let them go. Woof, 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 they said. And he said, no, you're going to give me money today. Otherwise, my grandmother will not allow me inside. Woof, 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 they went on. He had enough of it. He picked up the stick he had and he started chasing them. They ran into the nearby forest. And a little into the forest, there was a group of thieves who were sitting and counting their booty. Looking at 16 dogs coming after them, they left their booty and ran away. Kumar found a bag full of gold coins and he took it home and he told his grandma, Grandma, is this what you were looking for? She was shocked. Ramaka did not know what to do. And she asked him, where did you get all this money from? And then Kumar told her the whole story. The grandmom was sad, disappointed, and at the same time relieved. Sad and disappointed because she realized that her grandson was too naive to do business. And relieved because he finally found some money and she could do something with him. So she told her grandson, Kumar, do you remember when you were getting the money, the whole sky was filled with fireballs. It rained fireballs. Don't you remember? And he said, it rained fireballs, Grandma. I didn't see. I said, no, you should remember this. Remember, it rained fireballs that day. The whole forest, you remember, was filled with light. The boy was convinced. A few days later, the thieves were caught by the chieftain of the king. And when they asked him where the booty was, he got them straight to Kumar's house. And the chieftain said to the grandma, "Where is the money?" And the grandma said, "Oh, I don't know where the money is. My son is stupid and I have no money." So he looked at the boy and the boy said, "Grandma, remember that day I got you a lot of gold? I told you I found it in the forest." She said, "Oh, you know, my stupid son, you don't know anything. You always keep imagining a lot of things and telling me and putting me into trouble." He said, "But grandma, you remember that day? I remember it without fail. It rained fireballs that day. You remember? It rained fireballs." And the chieftain sighed and nodded in agreement with the grandma and said, "Well, it's sad that you have such a stupid grandson," and walked away, hitting the thief and asking him where he exactly kept the booty. The grandma sighed. Finally, she had managed to get some money for her grandson, and she knew it was time for her to leave the village and start a life afresh for her grandson. Thank you.